Hi guys, and welcome back to the No Gluten Zone. Today I have another great recipe for you, so stick around. This is my double chocolate muffin recipe. It is gluten-free, it has a dairy-free option. You don't want to miss this recipe. Hi guys, I just wanted to interrupt your video for one moment. First, I wanted to say a huge thank you to all the people who did subscribe and helped me meet my goal of 500 subscribers. And now I'm onward in my journey and hoping to get more subscribers. So if you're viewing this and you're not subscribed, I would so appreciate if you would consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. That way I know how to plan for future videos. Thank you so much. I so appreciate each and every one of my viewers and subscribers out there. Now back to your video. So I'm going to start by putting half a cup of butter in my KitchenAid mixer bowl. And that's 8 tablespoons in case you use sticks of butter, and they have the measurements on them that make it so easy. That's 8 tablespoons is a half cup. It has been softening for a few minutes already, but I'm going to cream this on high speed for about 6 minutes. So our butter is creamed really well. I'm going to scrape it all down one more time. To this, I'm going to add half a cup of sugar and half a cup of brown sugar and then cream that together. My normal everyday sugar is actually evaporated cane juice. So it's not white like most cane sugar that you see and most people use. But this is just normal sugar. It just still has like some of the minerals and stuff not removed. So half a cup, and then half a cup of brown sugar. You want to pack it into your measuring cup and put it in there. I forgot to say that you can absolutely use an alternative for the butter, whether that's a shortening or a butter alternative, whatever type you use. You can absolutely do that in place of the butter. Okay, now we're going to cream the butter together with those sugars. Just going to scrape this down. Okay, this looks good. They're fully combined and creamed together. I'm going to scrape it down one more time. Now I'm going to leave it running on kind of a low to medium speed, and I'm going to add 4 eggs, one at a time. So you want to add one, let it fully incorporate before you add the next one. And there will be scraping down in between these two. Not sure if you can hear me over the mixer, but this is egg number 1. This is egg number 2. I'm going to scrape this down. Here goes egg number 3. And egg number 4. I'm going to scrape this again just to make sure everything is getting incorporated. It's a little bit stuck on the mixing blade that I need to get off. and into the mix here. Okay, in a medium mixing bowl now, we're going to combine our dry ingredients, and then we're going to add them to these wet ingredients. I'm going to start with half a cup of potato starch. I will say that when I first went gluten-free, I made recipes like this, where you measured everything individually. Shortly after that, I switched over to making flour blends and making recipes with using those blends. And my favorite one from that time period, I still make it. I still use it. I still have a lot of recipes, and any recipe that calls for just a gluten-free flour that's not a one-to-one flour, I just use that mix. And I learned to make the mixes myself because it's cheaper, and gluten-free flours and starches are not cheap. So any way to save money is good. It also allows me to control the quality of the ingredients. I can use organic if I can find it and I want it. Then later recipes moved more to using one-to-one flours. And I do make a one-to-one, and yes, I make it myself to save money, but also to be able to make it with no cornstarch, because I have developed an issue with corn, especially cornstarch being the biggest issue. And so that allows me to control the ingredients and to save money making it myself. So most of my recipes are using one of those two mixes, but I still have a few like this because they're so good. I can't give up these recipes, even though it might seem like a little more work measuring all of this out, but I promise you it's so worth it. So half a cup of potato starch in here. To that, I'm going to add half a cup of tapioca starch. You can sift these if you want. For muffins, I typically don't. You know, it's not a cake. You don't want it like fine and light and airy. It's more of a dense muffin. So that's just my personal preference, but you can sift these if you want. Then we're going to add 1/3 cup of white rice flour. Then I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. So that's going to be 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. Then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to add 1 1/4 teaspoon of, I'm using xanthan gum. You could use guar gum. You could use psyllium husk. There are a lot of interchangeable things, but this is going to be like the gum or the fiber that's going to mimic gluten and give it that kind of sticky, stretchy quality. So 1 teaspoon and 1/4 teaspoon. Then we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of cacao powder. And I'm a little bit picky with my cacao powder. A lot of cocoa powders and cacao powders just don't taste very nice to me. They're bland, they're kind of acidic, they're kind of just yuck in my opinion. So my favorite is Navita's brand. That is the one I always buy. I've heard Santa Barbara chocolate is really good. I have not bought it. It's just a little pricey for me. Navita's is pricey too, but it is definitely worth it. So Santa Barbara chocolate is probably totally worth it. But I go through a lot of cacao powder and I don't know that I can afford it. Maybe someday. But for now, I'm using Navita's cacao. But whatever your favorite cacao or cocoa powder is, you're going to add 2/3 of a cup. Okay, we're going to whisk all of that together. until it's well combined. Okay, so we are going to add about a third. You're just going to eyeball this dry mixture, about a third of this to this butter mixture, and you're going to let it incorporate. I'm going to scrape this down. Then we're going to add 1/2 cup of oil. I use avocado oil, but whatever neutral flavored oil you like to use. Then you're going to eyeball this again and add about half of it. Going to scrape this down again. We're going to add 2/3 cup of milk, and we're only going to add half of it at this moment. But today I am using dairy milk. In the past, I had to make this recipe dairy-free for a long time. In the past, I had to make all of my cakes and muffins and cupcakes and everything dairy-free for my family. And I always just used water. No joke. People were amazed because it tasted amazing. The texture was amazing. They were like, you really just replaced the milk with water. And yes, I did. And it was perfect. But you could add a dairy-free milk alternative. What I found using those was they would always impart a flavor that I didn't necessarily want in the recipe. So I really just liked adding water because there was no extra flavor being imparted into the recipe. But today I am using dairy milk. I'm going to add half of it in here. This looks so good. I'm going to just scrape, make sure it's not getting all stuck and clumped on the bottom mainly. I do scrape down the sides, but I also make sure the bottom doesn't get clumped up. Okay, now I'm going to add the last of this flour mixture. Looks good and it smells good. I wish cameras could impart smell when it comes to recipe videos. I'm going to add the other half of the milk. Some more scraping. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Okay, I'm going to scrape off this beater as much as I can. Give it a good mix here. And if you're paying attention, or really closely paying attention, maybe you're asking yourself, she said double chocolate muffins. I only saw cacao powder. That's right. Last step is to add 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, preferably mini chocolate chips. I like to use Enjoy Life brand, but whatever brand you like. They are gluten-free, dairy-free, and just a really great brand. I really like their products. And we're going to stir those chocolate chips in. I like to line my muffin pan, but you don't have to. If you don't like that, you can spray oil in there or butter it, however you normally deal with your muffin pan, cupcake pan. And I love to use an ice cream scooper, especially one that has the scraper in it, because this makes them a uniform size so they bake more evenly all at the same time. And that scraper really helps you scrape it out of there. There they are. I'm going to bake these in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 14 to 20 minutes, so I will check them at 14. I like to stick a toothpick in. If it comes out clean, then they're done. If it's really wet, then there's batter clinging to the toothpick, then it needs a little more time. You can do these in mini muffin pans. I have done that, and that's about 12 minutes, at least in my oven. Some ovens do vary. I'm sure you could do them in the jumbo muffin pans. I haven't done that, so I don't have a time frame for you, but it would be longer than this one. So the smaller the muffin, the quicker it's going to bake. And then the larger it is, the longer it's going to bake. So I don't know how well you can see that. It's 14 minutes. I put the toothpick in. It's very, very wet. So it doesn't have like a lot of batter sticking to, like a thickness of batter. So it's almost done, but it is still very, very wet, and has batter on it. So I set it for 2 more minutes. I'll check it and I'll check back in with you. Okay, so 2 more minutes. That was 16 minutes. And I don't know if you can see that, but it is way more clean. There's just like a tiny little bit of chocolate. It probably hit one of the chocolate chips that are very melty. It's not batter or dough, if you will. And so that's pretty normal. And here they are. They look fantastic. They smell fantastic. I do have to warn you to let them cool completely before you eat them. Otherwise, they're not fully done inside. They're a little gummy, gooey. They still might taste good, but they will taste so much better if you let them cool completely before you do eat them. So please try this recipe and let me know how you liked it in the comments. Have a great day, guys, and God bless you.